Alright, hi everybody. It's Laszlo Vasco with Micro Adventures, and today we're going to fly a glider. And not just any glider, but one of the smallest gliders available. It's called a Russia AC-4. More specifically, this is the AC-4B. And as you guessed it, it's a glider that was manufactured in Russia. Yeah, let's put it together. So one of the benefits of these smaller gliders is that they're easy to put together, they're light. Okay, we got the wings on, which is the hardest part. All right, so that's that. We got to put the elevator on. It goes into sort of a ball joint that you want to make sure is properly aligned. That's it for the main glider. What we're also going to put on is wing fairings. So let me fetch those. So we have these wing fairings. They're simple fiberglass fairings, and they significantly improve the performance of the glider. In terms of glide ratio, gives it about 2 extra. Instead of 33:1, I think it ends up 35:1. Okay, let's see, controls free, ballast we don't have any, seat belts checked, trim is set, air brakes are locked, altimeter is set, and we will be good to go. All right, so we're getting ready for the tow. Here we go. So folks, what keeps the glider up in the air? Well, there's multiple sources of lift, and thermals being one of them, and that's what we're doing today. So as hot air rises, as the sun heats the ground, it causes air to warm up and start to rise up all the way up to the cloud bases. That's where it condenses and forms clouds. So on a day like this, where it's as you can see, we've got great clouds out there, not super tall, and I don't feel, so far anyway, I mean, we have a nice little thermal here, but it was pretty bumpy on the way up, so we should have some pretty strong ones. But anyway, on a cloudy day, or where you have these nice puffy clouds, then thermals is easy to spot because they're underneath the cloud. And you can hop from one to the other. So in between the clouds, you've got sync. And what you need to do is really dive down and basically go as fast as minimize your time in sync. Came over to the other cloud. This one is like a King Bronco. It seems to have a pretty rough, strong thermal in the center. And if you pull out of it, you kind of feel a big drop. One of the benefits of the smaller glider is that you could turn very quickly. All right, so we've been up for a while. In the beginning, I was sort of struggling, well, not really struggling, but we were maintaining around 3,000 to 3,500 feet. Caught a couple of stronger thermals. I've just been wandering around the area. Now we've got a great street. So I'm at 5,000 feet, right at the base of the clouds, going straight. So a street is a row of clouds. They tend to form in rows, especially in a windy day. And so if you kind of line up on the row, just go straight underneath it, and you just maintain altitude. Beautiful day. Turned out better than I thought. A great way to get into gliding or soaring is to join a soaring club. So today, I'm a member of Boston Soaring, and so we're flying out of Sterling in Sterling, Massachusetts. And clubs are just a super fun way. This is a very different way of flying than power planes. So I first had my power license, and the reason I got into soaring, I was somewhat interested in it, but the actual reason was that for my kids, so as they were growing up, they used to build a lot of RC planes out of these foam boards, and you know, in the power plane, if we went on a trip, they would come along, but they wouldn't come up and fly with me because they thought it was boring. Because in a power plane, you kind of just sit there. That was before I got the Satabri and started doing aerobatics, but but otherwise, you kind of just sit there. So for kids, you know, they kind of lose interest in that. And so one day they were on YouTube just browsing around and found a video of a really old German open seat glider a young guy made, and he was hollering, having so much fun in it, and it looked super fun. So they showed it to me, and then I thought that was an opportunity to say, hey, maybe we should go check out gliders. And they're like, nah, you can't do aerobatics in them. I'm like, sure you can. And then I pulled up and showed them videos of aerobatics in gliders. We went out to a gliding club down there in the Philadelphia area, Brandywine Soaring, and joined the club. The kids immediately got hooked because the way to compare it is that soaring is like a sailboat, whereas the power planes are like a powerboat, where you're going to go from point A to point B, and a powerboat is a lot easier. And soaring is a sport. It's the act of flying is what makes, is interesting in itself, not the destination. Certainly people do these, then when you want to be more challenged, you do these long cross-country trips in a glider as well. But just, getting an understanding of weather, lift, and just the basic principles, it's just a fabulous way of enjoying aviation. So, and for kids, in a club setting, there are a lot of opportunities. So one of the benefits, which we didn't realize ahead of time, is that you start to take on responsibilities, because a soaring club is a volunteer organization. All the members are volunteers. The instructors are volunteers. The tow pilots are volunteers. But on the ground too, you can't just sit around. You got to go help fetch a rope after it's dropped, ride in golf carts and help pull gliders out, which actually kids really enjoy. So when we have young members coming out, sometimes they get more excited by driving golf carts than they do about flying. But long story short, they get engaged. They see how adults work as a team. They see how an organization runs. And I think it just has an amazing impact on kids taking on responsibility and, learning how to work in a team, learning leadership. It's these things we didn't anticipate. They were just interested in flying, and so sure enough, both of my kids got their private pilot glider license, which is a private pilot license with a glider rating. You get different ratings for different types of aircraft. So from there, then they were hooked on aviation. So then, from then on, they went on and got their power license, and the overall time it took them to get their power license wasn't much more than, which by then they'll have two ratings. It wasn't much more than if you would have just started with power. And for power pilots like me, because then one of the other benefits was doing it together. And whether or not you're a pilot or not, if your kids are interested in aviation, I highly, highly recommend soaring in a soaring club, and you get to do it together. And it's a great bonding experience. Both of you guys, you and your kids or son or daughter, you get to do it with them, learning together the art of soaring, and it's just a amazing, feeling of accomplishment. So right now I'm sort of in between. Well, I'm actually closer to Fitchburg than I'm at Sterling, but sort of in between the two airports, both easy gliding distance. And if you plot out your route, you could go, from one airport to the other. So what I'm going to do is head over to this other street. And aim for this cloud here. Pick up some speed. Turned on the audio for the Vario. You can hear the beeping. The faster it beeps, makes happy beeps, you're going up. Kind of boos at you if you're going down. So, we've got Wachusetts Reservoir here. We flew over this the other day in the Cessna 170. What a great view. That's Mount Monadnock in the distance. Second most hiked mountain in the world after Mount Fuji. We'll go check out the reservoir. These clouds are definitely growing. Look on the left there, you could see them building up. That means the lift is stronger and stronger. Man, now it's been constant sink down to 3,000 feet. It's starting to cloud over. And Sterling traffic glider turning left downwind 3-4 Sterling. And Jone traffic glider turning left base 3-4. Traffic glider final 3-4.